It's time for Quarantine Cabaret Cocktails with Robert Bannon and Lee Lessack.
Well,
hey, Robert.
Hey,
How
Lee.
are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm all right.
Welcome,
I'm all
everybody,
right for a Thursday.
to week 9 of Quarantine Cabaret.
Isn't that crazy? Is that just crazy?
It is absolutely crazy to me that
I mean, go on.
this little idea has we're booking shows through the summer. So
Mhm.
I feel grateful to be able to spend this Thursday with you and all of you watching at home.
I always look forward to Thursdays. You know, it's kind of a good thing because, like this week especially, I've been getting a little bored.
Mhm.
It's a little monotonous, and that also then makes me a little depressed.
Sure.
You know, I'm like a really early riser, and I get up and I make the mistake of watching the news. I probably should not do that, but I watch the news. I have my tea. I do my Peloton ride. I walk the dogs. I sit at my desk, and it's like 8:20 in the morning, and I'm exhausted. You know, and then I'm trying to figure out ways to like maintain the rest of the day.
I get it.
You
You're
know,
done. You've peaked by
yeah,
9 a.m.
I know. I
Well,
know.
we would be remiss to not bring up that the United States of America is going through something. And just, I know from me and Lee, we both spoke about this, and we feel like we have a platform and we have people that watch. And Lee got a lot of messages this week from people who were so sweet about how much they enjoy our show.
Yeah, and also how several people said, because we were going to cancel because we thought maybe it wasn't proper. I don't know. I, I'm so tentative to say or do anything because I don't want to upset anyone, obviously, and don't want to do anything politically incorrect. And but we literally got like 4 messages from viewers that I do not know saying how much they look forward to Thursdays because it brought them, you know, a moment of joy and calm in an otherwise anxiety-ridden time. And so I thought, you know what, we should do it. We should do it, but obviously we need to talk about it. I saw something online last night or early this morning, because it all runs together, that for me gave me some real comfort because I'm noticing, you know, people posting on social media and then they're getting judged for what they post. And I think everybody or most people have good intentions, you know what I mean? But it's such a sensitive time. And I saw this, and for me, this made a whole lot of sense. So I'm going to put it up on the screen so everybody can read it. Whoop.
It's so true. Everyone is, social injustice in the world, racism, bigotry in the world is something that I hope in the year 2020, it shocks me that we're not all on the same page and take claim of each person's individual responsibility to make it better. It's not
Right.
to be anti-racist, to be actively anti-racist.
Right.
So many people in my life are, people of color that I love to pieces. I have a brother who's a police officer. I have family members that are police officers. My brother said to me this weekend, the biggest danger to a good cop is a bad cop. And that is the reality. We all need to band together to stop social injustice to people. It's so important. It makes our society a better place when we're all just as equal as possible. I think we've all been through enough. I think
Yeah. Well, last night we were talking, and I thought I want to have a guest. I want to invite somebody on the show, and just to talk to about this. And it was instant because there's one artist who I adore, who, for me, has one of the greatest, if not the greatest, voice on the planet. In fact, I'll never forget when I released her album, and I'm not remembering what year, but it was a while ago, more than 10 years ago. And she does a lot of work with David Foster, and he was there, and I had never met him before, so that was like a big deal for me. And he said, she has, in my opinion, the greatest voice on this planet. And I was like, wow. And he wrote a song that she recorded that, for me, just brings me comfort. No matter what I'm going through at any given time, I reach for this song because it gives me comfort. It lets me breathe when I feel like I can't breathe. So I'm gonna play it for everybody. And this is Nita Whitaker and David Foster.
I spent my life building castles of dreams, reaching for each distant star. As tears clear my eyes, I finally realize happiness is where you are, and I'm still a part of you. You're still a part of me, and I swear I'll always celebrate your memory. You'll live inside of me. Heaven holds the ones I love. I see your eyes twinkle in the skies above. My hopes are floating in the clouds. The wind repeats your name out loud. Oh, heaven holds the ones I love. At times I'm unsure why our hearts must endure all the pain and such great loss. Still, look what I've gained. I feel your kiss in the rain. It's your smile I miss the most, and I'm still a part of you. And you're still the biggest part of me. And I swear I'll always celebrate your memory and trust what's meant to be. Heaven holds the ones I love. I see your eyes twinkle in the skies above. My hopes are floating in the clouds. The wind repeats your name out loud. Oh, heaven holds the ones I love. And in my grief and disbelief, one thing I know is true. Every breath I take brings me that much closer to you. Heaven holds the ones I love. I see your eyes twinkle in the sky. My hopes are floating in the clouds. The
Wow. Wow.
Nita.
The voice of an angel. My goodness gracious.
Thank you for being here. Oh, we can't hear you. We don't hear you.
May have.
Oh,
Is that
there you
better?
are.
yes.
That's better.
You know, I think it just died as we came on, so I'm going to
Oh,
put
no.
that little AirPod rest.
Okay.
Hi, Nina. Thank you for being here.
Hi. Oh, I'm
How
so
are you?
happy to be here. So honored. I'm better today.
Yeah.
I had a couple of days of feeling mad and sad, sort of a combination of that. And there was a text I got last night at 6:30, and it said, if you can do this, everyone go into your street, everyone that you know, send this out at 9 o'clock, and we're going to lift we're doing a silent protest. Do you know about this? And we're going to lift turn our flashlights on at 9 o'clock and leave them on pointed upward for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, which we did. We had about maybe 17, 18 neighbors that came and gathered in the middle of the street, all socially distantly apart. And in the middle of that, there began to just be some kind of chatter. People were talking about insignificant things, and I thought, wait a minute, let's get back to why we're doing this. So I said, I don't even know what I said. It wasn't planned. But to bring back to instead of what are those shoes you're wearing? I'm like, that's not why we're here. Somebody said, wow, my arm is getting tired. 8 minutes.
Yeah.
But as we got to that time, but before that, I said, you know, it's interesting in this time of the pandemic when the world came to a screeching halt and made us stop and look at what we're doing, how we're living. But this shining the light up, in the middle of this shines a light on how we're treating each other, how we value each other, how we have let this systemic racism be a quiet undercurrent. And it was connecting and healing in the moment of all of us getting together, and in pockets around the city it was happening. And that made me feel lighter. So my goal is to always stay positive, and like what you posted, Lee, keep my foot on the gas.
Yes.
I'm encouraged that I feel like there's been too many of these. I don't want this to be this groundswell and then quiet again until the next murder, the next person died that we see or don't see on social media. But I feel like, and my daughters and I discussed it, it feels like this could be a tipping point where real conversation, real legislation, real action can happen to shine a light on it. It's there. Let's talk about it. It's not going to go away like that. But let's talk about it. Let's have real dialogue about it. I mean, are we all a little racist? Probably. Avenue Q says we are.
Yeah.
But I think it's a time to really come together as a nation and say, let's really visit what this really is, and let's call it what.
Yes. And if it takes millions of people around the globe, around the globe saying
50 states
enough.
and at least 18, enough.
Enough.
They're speaking out. They see us. They see us struggling. They see, and thank God for social media, because how many did we not see?
Right.
And that doesn't make every cop a bad cop.
That's
I have
right.
some family in law enforcement. There, so many of them are there to do good, to do what they're supposed to do, to help, protect, and serve. But there are those that get in there, and you can't see from the surface the good from the bad until there's a reaction.
Yeah.
And so much of it is a reaction.
Right. Yeah. But you know, if that's what it takes, and for them to so swiftly change the charges to what they should be, and arrest the other guilty parties,
exactly.
Then, you know, I'll tell you, last week, I think it was last week, I literally have not left my house. I have not been in a public building since March 16th. I only walk the dogs. I order everything in. I have not been anywhere. And a friend of ours, a very good friend who's a producer, and she executive produced a new film that's coming out that Andra Day is starring in called The United States versus Billie Holiday. She plays Billie Holiday. Stunning.
Ooh, good
Stunning.
casting.
And she said, would you and Mark be willing to go to a screening? And it will just be you. And we were like, in this screening that would hold like 40 people.
Oh my gosh.
So I was in a public building alone, and we went. And it's really, the majority of the movie is about how the feds were trying to nab her because of her heroin abuse. But what was amazing to me is, as a performer, the coverage that they had of her, performing, or she would go to meet someone at an apartment building and would have to take the service elevator and not the actual elevator. And this is in the 50s. And it just shook me, because I was like, that's like 10 years before I was born. What is wrong with people? It really made it like very visible to me. And then this is happening, and I'm like, and so not much has changed in a way.
No. The one thing, President Obama had a little bit of a speech yesterday on
I saw it.
Yeah, .org. And the thing that he said that was encouraging, the difference in this in 1968 is that we have a coalition of people. We have a diverse group from around the world. Then it was just Black people trying to find
Right.
their voice. And so there has been some improvement, and there have been strides made. I agree with him, but not enough has happened so that it's just not bubbling under the surface.
Sure.
Right.
From Broadway to music to every industry, what racial equality is going to look like what everybody's stories can be told on Broadway, and not just the one or two that are in each cast, on television. Not just an all Black cast or an all white cast. Let's mix it up. Let's tell, because in every life there are diverse people. I mean, some of us live homogenized existences, but a lot of us don't.
Sure.
So we need to see those stories as well. But honor the ones, everybody has a right to have their stories, their point of view, and to have people directing it and behind the camera who understand their point of view. That's what when we can see ourselves on television. My family is interracial, you know this. And when they were little girls, there was no Barbie dolls that looked like us. So I would get a Black Barbie family and a white Barbie family and make the children golden and put them together. And that would be what they would get, And there were no books that looked like them. So we need to see, this diverse culture that we live in, not just Black or white or whatever the colors we want to call ourselves. My daddy would always say, people are just people. They just come here in different skins. And that is so true. If we can just see each other as a human being, we're one nation, one world, one people, all human race. And that is the simplest thing. And to me, when you see children who have they just want to play, they want to walk up with you and say hi, and they go skipping off merrily to play along. That's the simplicity. Instead of all these layers that we put on top of each other of what they are and what they aren't, and who's worthy and who isn't. I think that conversation needs to be had. Real talk, not just talk goes back to the way it's been and the way it's.
Well,
I think that I saw that Warner Music is giving $100 million to social justice. Isn't that amazing? To social justice causes. I saw that the Gersh Agency is matching a lot of agencies that are doing Southern Poverty Law, the Legal Defense Fund, all these things that have been underfunded. Underfunded.
Wow.
So it feels like it's this big cruise ship that's been going this way. It's not easy just to turn that girl on a dime.
No.
It's going to take a minute. You got to slowly turn, but it takes a lot of effort of a lot of people to do it. So I do feel there is some real change about to happen. I'm going to jump tangents, but a similar thing, gun violence and all of this that we've been talking about, and all these rallies that we've had about that, and then nothing changes.
Yeah.
This is not the time for that.
No.
And everybody
No.
is on their phone, and everybody's on social media. So we're seeing everything because we have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So everybody's seeing everything. And so you can't hide anymore. Sometimes people could be so busy, oh, that doesn't affect me because it's happening so. This has affected the world. It has rippled around the
Well,
world.
I have said since lockdown, I have said, sarcastically, but not, that there's a reason for this pandemic.
Absolutely.
I have lived in LA for 30 years. I have never walked outside and seen clearer, bluer, sparkly skies in 30 years. There's a reason that
I agree.
our country, our world needed to stop and slow down. There's a reason for it. I mean, it's horrific that there are so many people dying from it. I mean, it's horrible, but there is a reason for it. And it's almost like no surprise that this is happening right now, in this moment, when we have all of this time.
Yes.
And people are on social media and organizing, and it's spiritually it's all happening for a reason.
Oh, there's a huge spiritual component to this, enormous in my opinion. When you said that, it made me think of something. There was an earthquake yesterday around 6 something.
I didn't feel it.
I don't usually feel them, but I felt that I was sitting at my desk and I felt like it was an emotion like that. And I said, oh, and then it was done. And I thought, isn't this interesting? We are still and in our houses for the most part for this pandemic, as we try to, flatten the curve. Then we are stunned by the murder that we witnessed, and I didn't see the video, but I don't need to see it. It's just too horrific to me that America witnessed on television. So then we're shaken by this earthquake. And I thought, oh my goodness, there's so many levels of spirituality that be still and know. So that is in the stillness, you have to get reflective, and you have to go in and figure out, who am I? What am I doing? What is my purpose? Who am I in the world? Who am I in my village? What am I doing with my life? Is what I'm doing with my life significant? And then we have this big moment that happens that shines a light on an undercurrent that's built into the fabric of America. So we've got to unweave that, girl, and we've got to dig it out, and we've got to root it. This is a time for excavation.
Yes.
Of our souls, of our spirits, of our nation, of what we've been doing. And then that little earthquake just came and go, hey. I was like, okay.
Reality check.
Right.
Yeah. Reality
check. It was like, hey, keep your foot on the gas.
Let me tell you, and because we cannot lose the lessons that we are learning in this moment. We cannot go back to life as it was before.
Right.
Was America great? I saw this one post. I'm going to let you speak, Lee.
Go on.
Minister that was talking, and he was talking to a young black man, his congregation, and he had him come up and he washed his feet as an act of equalization. He said, my people, all the things that he said, but one of the things he said that stuck with me was, when has America been great for all people? In the Constitution, it says we are all created equal, but are we? Have we? I mean, we know we are through God.
Yes.
In this country, have we all been valued the same? My brown brothers, my Asian sisters and brothers, have we? When has it been great? So we have a president that says, "Make America great." When was it great for everybody? If you're going to make it great, you got to make it great for everybody, and this is what we need to work toward.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Yeah. Right.
Amen.
Yeah.
No. We do a little like virtual tip jar here every week, and Robert and I really wanted to be as effective as we could this week. So this week, everything that you donate, we're donating to the Anti-Defamation League, which is an incredible organization that fights racism on every level. And so there's the information. You can, there you go, down there. And then,
awesome.
Yeah. So,
well, let me share something joyful that I did. I have a nonprofit, And my nonprofit is called In a World with Books. And what we do is we find and identify underserved children in schools, shelters, wherever, and we give them free. Well, we go in and we talk to them about reading, and we get them excited about it. We share a book. You know, being an actor, I can really bring it to life. We do with, and I have volunteers in the business that come with me, and they help me bring these stories to life. And then we give each child a book that they can own and keep. We tell them that a book can be their friend. And 2 days ago, there's a school in Inglewood called Hudnall, and we were able to give the graduating class of sixth graders, 56 sixth graders, each got 3 books because they're still learning at home. And you should see them holding, I have pictures of them holding their little packet of books. That kind of thing takes you out of the moment, and there is still good to be done.
Yeah.
And Maya Angelou says, good done somewhere is good done everywhere. So that little bit of putting in restored me, along with the flashlight moment that we honored George Floyd and all the others that have died under suspicion and, well, we know what. But it restored me a little bit to, we still have to keep doing good, keep our foot on the gas. And how we do that is that we connect. We connect with each other, people outside of our circle, and we do something. And so this charity thing that you're inviting, this is a way that we can connect and do good.
Absolutely.
So I want to encourage all of you who are watching to find something, if it isn't this charity, but for today, it is this one. Let's do good by connecting. And if it's just $3.
Yes.
As an educator in New Jersey, I know the importance of giving underprivileged children a book, something physical that they could take home. So as a 5th grade and 6th grade teacher through most of my life, thank you for that. Honestly.
Yeah.
Thank you. It is the work that fills my soul. I can't tell you the joy when they receive, and because of the pandemic, we can't be there to physically give, so we've had to change our model a little bit too. But we create the books, and we leave a place for them to put their name in the book so that they can own it. There's pride in ownership.
Sure.
And they can reread it. And my mother was a librarian, so I grew up with books. And thank you, being a teacher. I take my hat off to you, sir.
Well,
great work.
And on a little bit of a side note, as a fan of you and your work, I love CeCe and B Winans. I love the Winans family, and I didn't get to see it because I'm in Jersey, but I heard you tear it up.
Oh.
I can't wait.
Well, people may not know that Nita's involved in a show that's coming to Broadway, slowly but surely.
Yes,
that our dear friend Charles Randolph Wright directed. And it's called Born for This, and it's the story of the Winans, and
PTL.
Hopefully Broadway's going to open this year, and hopefully we'll be there.
Because I really think this story could resonate not with just the church folks, but I think it is a story of faith and family and fame, but more than that, the journey of how you embrace the gifts you've been given and what do you do with them. And how do you still, and when you get to where you think you are supposed to be as far as your fame level or whatever, what do you do with that? And how do you stay connected? And and I, of course, play the mom, and I get to sing this wonderful song every night that to me is a prayer for our children, all of our children. And that's the place I try to sing it from. But it has been a glorious journey being a part of the show, and getting to really know BB, and my castmates are just superiorly talented group of people. And the last time that we did in Boston, the extra triple joy for me was that my daughter Lissy joined the cast.
Oh, my goodness!
So our first mommy-daughter show. So Lissy got to do the show with us. She played the Whitney character. She did Dreamgirls in London, and they knew that she could, show up 8 times a week because it's a song that has a bing note. We would all run to the wing, and she would knock it out of the park every time. And of course, it's her mom. I was like, so we called it. There would be one song. I would do. There would be a sweet song, and then I would do my song, and then Lissy would do her song, and then they added a song for BB to come and wrap up the whole thing. So I call it like volleyball. You set up, spike. It was great, though. I was just so honored to be a part of the show, and
Wow.
to have my daughter join it was an added bonus.
Well, give Lisi my love.
I will. I will.
And
She adores
Charles.
you. I will. Talked to
Yeah.
him yesterday.
I cannot thank you enough for joining us.
Thank you.
Oh, it's been a thrill. Thank you for allowing me a place to talk and to share with you and your listening audience, your viewing audience, just kind of my thoughts and my ideas and my hopes. I do think that we can be bigger and better than this moment that we are in. And I just hope we don't lose the lessons that we are learning and steeping in this pandemic. So I hope that everybody can take that and just say, let me live my life more elevated, more conscious, more aware, more mindful. Let me treat everybody the way I want to be treated. That's how I was raised. It's
Right?
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you, Nita Whitaker.
Nita Whitaker,
Love
you,
you.
you are a class act. Thank you so much.
Oh, bless
Thank you,
you.
thank you.
Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Mwah.
Bye.
Let me tell
Wow.
you, you got to find her on YouTube. Watch her with Andrea Bocelli. Listen to her one.
She's amazing.
album.
She's amazing. Just amazing. Wow. Okay. We have a packed show. My next guest, I adore all of our guests, but she's amazing. I first encountered her in the original Broadway production of In the Heights. She was the star of In the Heights, and that voice just like slayed me. I saw the show like 3 times. I bought like standing room tickets, and so I could go because I don't think I was working at the time. And she just has this effortless manner about her when she sings, but then it's like ridiculous, the sound. And so then we've met over the years, and then back in the fall we started working together, producing a tour for her with one of her co-stars from In the Heights called Hitting New Heights, which is
brilliant,
really exciting. Anyway, for the last 4 years she's been starring in Hamilton on Broadway, and her name is Mandy Gonzalez. For those of you that
I think I've seen her in Aida. I've seen her in The Heights. I think I saw her in Wicked, and I saw her in Hamilton. I think I'm the fan club president, Mandy.
But you beat me. You beat me.
I think I have seen her in it all.
Well, she came out with an album called Fearless, and the title song, Fearless, was written for her by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So how many people can say that besides Hamilton? Right? Ridiculous. So I want to play you a snippet of they did a music video of the title track.
Beautiful.
So let's watch that.
We begin fearless. We crawl, we walk, we run until we fall. Begin again, begin again. We climb until the world puts up a wall. We learn to flinch, we don't remember when. We feel the pinch of don't do that again. Endless lists of don't do that again. Don't do that again. They put us in boxes, affix us with a label on the side. They win again, they win again. We dim the lights, we shut the door and hide. But as we grow and make this place our own, I let you in and I am less alone. I am less alone, I am less alone, I am less alone. You remind me of something I've always known. And when I see you, I'm fearless. When I'm around you, I am fearless. When I am near you, I am fearless.
Mandy!
Fearless, the album.
I never know which way to point.
Fearless.
How are you?
Oh, did we not hear you either?
Oh, we can't hear you either.
No.
Maybe take this out. Yeah.
Does
Nope.
that work?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yay. Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh,
Hello?
there we go.
Now you can?
Now we can hear
I
you.
don't know what happened.
how are you?
When we were coming out, I was like, oh, maybe they were mine. And then she was like, oh, they were work, but maybe they were both of ours at the same time.
I don't, maybe the beats. Well, I have listened to Fearless, the album, all week on my walks.
I can't hear
Oh, no,
you.
you can't hear either.
Yes.
What's happening?
You know what? I'm going to bring Jonathan Hawkins on because he is the fixer of all things technology.
I love that. Wow, I look very. I was in the sun today. Mandy, Mandy, can you hear me at all?
No.
Yeah.
She can't hear.
Oh,
Yes?
I think Mandy's there.
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. Oh,
I am
good.
here.
Good.
Am
Perfect.
I here?
And you can
Hello?
hear us.
Well, I can hear you. I listened to Fearless all week on my walks. I love the song Smile. I've listened to it over and over again, and it's that title track not more relevant than ever, especially that video. So thank you for that. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope that during this time, you know, it was my hope in creating the album that it would bring a lot of, I guess, a lot of peace to people that I care about. And so I hope during this time that with everything going on, that it does that for people. You know, I created about 3 years ago now, I created a social movement on social media called #FearlessSquad. And it was because I was getting so many messages. You know, now things are so fast, you know, in our world. Before, people could send me letters to the theater and then I would write them back, and, you know, but there was never such immediacy. And, you know, people started to send me messages on social media, and they were hard to read, you know, not illegible, but just, you know, messages about feeling unwanted and feeling alone. And I thought that I knew that I had to do something. And so I wanted to create. I felt so lucky in my life that I had people that were always supporting me, my friends and family. So I felt like if people didn't have that and needed a place of hope and support, they could be part of my squad. And so Fearless Squad kind of began. And so when I created this album, it was for the squad and for all of these people who have been so incredibly vulnerable to me with their stories, that I wanted this to be a gift for them. So
Wow.
I hope it's still.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It is beautiful.
Thank you.
And what was it like? I mean, I know you're friends and you've done shows together and whatnot, but what was it like to have Lynn write the title song for you?
Well, I had to be a little bit fearlessly because I had to ask. You know,
had to ask.
My friend Bill Sherman, who was the co-orchestrator of In the Heights, produced the album with Warner Brothers, and he asked me, he was like, well, what? Yeah, right, just a little, no big deal. And he asked me, he's like, well, what composers do you want to work with? And I said, well, Lin-Manuel and Tom Kitt. And he's like, okay, well, like, who else in case? And I said, well, those are really like two composers that I love what I just love them so much. And so I had to write Lynn, and I said, look, Lynn, I'm making my first album, and it wouldn't be complete without a song that we can do together. And so he was like, yes, of course. And he's like, I'm going to write a song called Fearless for your Fearless Squad. And it was just like, what?
Wow.
You know, it was like a dream come true. It was like, you know, all the
That's crazy.
things that you think, I hope he says yes, and I hope it happens. And then all of a sudden it's like more amazing than you could ever imagine.
Just that.
So,
we shall
you know,
receive.
but he's like, I know, right? But Lynn and everybody in the Heights they're like my family, and so we that's what we do for one another. We kind of just
Right.
have to step up.
Wow. Now, Mandy, you've had, I mean, obviously with the close of Broadway and whatnot, it's been quite a time. But prior to that, you went through treatment for breast cancer this fall, which ended during this pandemic.
Yes, I did.
Your last treatment, I followed you, and you had to like go for
Yes.
chemo alone. Well, first of all, I'm so glad you're doing well, and you look
that's why
fantastic.
my hair is so much shorter. I kept a lot of it. I have a lot of hair, but it's a lot shorter these days than it is in my Fearless video. That's the first thing I was like, oh my God, look at my hair.
You're
But
stunning no matter what.
no, I am so grateful during this time that I was able to finish, that I was able to go through my chemotherapy. So many cancer patients are just, recently diagnosed and are having to pause treatment or wait until it's safe to go in. Now I think things are moving a little bit more better, I guess, like better, but it's rough. I've always been an overachiever, so I figure why not have cancer during a pandemic? Like,
yeah. And before that,
so,
why not have cancer and do 8 shows a week?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
No, it's like, come on. But I feel so blessed that I go to Memorial Sloan Kettering, that all of the doctors and the nurses that were able to showed up so that people like me can still get treatment and get help. And I feel very lucky because during this time, that I've had off from my show of Hamilton, I've been able to do some fundraising for some incredible cancer fundraisers. And one of them was for BCRF, which is the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. And for that, I think they're going to release it one day. But my entire cast from In the Heights sang with me for Breathe. And that fundraiser raised $5.2 million for breast cancer research. So I feel lucky in that way that I've been able to, during this time, use my voice to help.
Amazing.
These were fundraisers, like Elton John, like Mandy, like they were fundraisers.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been, like everything during this time, it's just, I'm constantly learning in my life and growing and doing my best, Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
Which is pretty good.
Pretty good.
Good.
I wanted to just let everybody know that one of the things that you've started doing in quarantine is coaching people one-on-one virtually, which has been super rewarding. And people can go to mandygonzalez.com. There it is right down there. And set up appointments for vocal coaching, acting coaching. She does it all. But one of the things,
I call it Belting with the Beast because I've been nicknamed the Beast for it. And I love it. I love working with people. I love working with young people. That I think it's so important right now to sing. Yeah. To sing out and to find your place in your apartment or your house, your safe space to really just let yourself emote and be free. Yeah. And so I started to do and I do it every Thursday, a free vocal lesson at noon on my Instagram Live.
I saw that.
Just a warm up. Yes. And it's the same warm up I do every night before Hamilton. And it's so wonderful.
I've got to tune into it.
It's great. And I say, like, you can't do the warm-ups right away. Don't worry. It just gets better as you go. And it's so nice because so many young people, you know, people all ages, at 12 o'clock, you know, they've already had a full day. So at 12 o'clock, take a break, let's sing for 15 minutes, and then you can continue on your day. You know, my daughter sometimes joins me because I do homeschool during the day. So, you know, that's our break too. So it's really, really nice. I really love it.
Oh, good. I saw that. So we were
She's here right
talking a
now,
couple
too.
of weeks ago. We were talking a couple of weeks ago, and you shared with me an idea that you had, because we honestly don't know how long it will be until performing arts venues can reopen. And when they can reopen, if they have to socially distance seat, they may not be able to afford the programming that they had planned. Because if a 2,000 seat venue can only seat 400
Right.
people, they can't afford the artist fees, et cetera, et cetera. And so you said, you know, I really want to be able to offer like virtual concerts. How do we do that? Blah, blah, blah. And so I said, well, we have to call Jonathan Hawkins, my good buddy, Jonathan Hawkins, because he knows all about this. And so that's Jonathan there.
I know him.
Hi, guys.
So now you can talk, Jonathan.
Oh, thank you. Well, I didn't realize that was my intro. Yeah, no,
That is your intro.
It's been so exciting just to sort of spearhead this whole project, and obviously to get to work with Mandy is, you know, a dream come true, and just to you know, kind of advise. I came into this pandemic not really knowing the virtual space whatsoever, and just sort of kept trying things until it sounded good, and somehow came up with a great formula of it, and have been so lucky I produce about 2 to 4 virtual shows each and every night, and that is about to expand to next week to a total of 39 hours of programming. So if anybody needs a job, I'm hiring. Which is just absolutely insane, but has taught me so much and taught me how to quickly get people set up. And something that's really cool, and Mandy and I had this conversation last week, is, all right, what do you have in your house? And then what are a few things that we can bring in that will allow you to have professional sounding, professional looking virtual shows? And I have run the gamut from, you know, someone who has incredible studio equipment to people who have virtually nothing. And just with a few small fixes or a few little things, you can really make a really beautiful sounding and looking show. And it's been just a joy to get to do that with you, Mandy. And I look forward to it, for us to get it up on its feet. It's really exciting.
We're excited.
Yeah.
It's excited. Yeah.
I'm excited. I can't wait. And I'm also learning so much from Jonathan about what to do. I'm sure I'll have a lot of questions even after this show. Like, what could I have done? What's different? And I think that this is a great time for innovation and a great time to try new things. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But this is a great time to, I've always been a believer in that.
Yeah.
And I for one, as a performer, I miss performing. I miss singing. And so I have to find ways to have an outlet. And I know that if I miss it, so many of my friends also do. And I know that people miss getting dressed up and going to a show. You know, there's wonderful shows to watch, but you know, there's nothing like a live performance. There's just there's nothing like it that's like tailored for you. So that was really my thought in coming up with this idea, and then talking to you guys about it, and then it became this whole other thing, you know, which is so exciting. And
it's such it's every artist that so many artists are so hesitant, I think, to sort of start performing virtually, because it's such a different experience, and it's overwhelming to try to understand. I mean, imagine if you walked on stage at Hamilton and you had to run all the tech and you had to run all the lights, and you know what I mean? Like, you went, where do you start? And so it's overwhelming for an artist, and it's also a totally different style of performing. We get nothing back from the audience. whether that's applause or a scowl or a smile or just someone who's watching you so intently. You don't get that in this space. So it's a totally different way of performance as well.
It's so vulnerable.
Yeah, it's so vulnerable. And for me, I've had to just figure out. Yeah, I'm singing for myself. I'm doing this because I love to do this. And I trust that people are loving the experience that I'm giving them. But at the end of the day, I have to do this for myself. It's really interesting. It's a totally different way of like walking out on stage and performing. It's really, really cool. Yeah.
We're excited.
Let's get started.
Greg and I have started talking about it to presenters and charity, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. We're going to have a busy fall.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Well, Mandy, thank you so much for. I know you're a busy mom, and I know. But I'm so glad you.
Yeah, I think we're all just trying to juggle whatever we've got, and we're all just doing our best. So I send so much love to you guys, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of this tonight. To be on with Nita Whitaker was like a total dream. As somebody who listened to her and have admired her for so long, it was so nice to finally meet her. So thanks for that. And thank you for doing this, for bringing light during this time. It's a really beautiful thing.
Well, we'll be fanning out for you on all the shows to come. We totally will be fanning out for Mandy Gonzalez.
Thanks, guys. Mwah.
Be healthy, be safe. Much love.
I didn't get the boot.
I didn't boot you because I want to give you an opportunity to talk about what you're doing in with the virtual piano bar and all that stuff. And how people find it and everything.
All of the above. It's super exciting. So when the quarantine kind of happened, my friend John Richardson, who is a piano bar player here in Provincetown, where I'm coming in from, and clearly spent 20 minutes on the beach. I had 20 minutes off, and this is what happened.
Are you Irish?
No.
They get very red very quickly.
No, I normally don't burn quickly. So I think it's just the first sun of the summer, really. This entire quarantine, I have been working, and so I have not seen the sun. So today, it was beautiful, and it's kind of the first day of summer here in Provincetown. So anyway, I went to the beach. But my friend John Richardson, who's a great piano bar player here in town, we did a show together for Valentine's Day, which was President's Day week in Provincetown. And after that, we just became great friends. And when the quarantine happened, the next day, he started daily shows at 5 p.m., happy hour shows, within the 2 weeks. And then he had a significant amount of followers. Within about the first week, he was averaging at about 150 followers each day. And so he called me and said, hey, I think I'm onto something here. Do you want to get on board? And so I started producing that, and we're up to, I want to say 17 hours of virtual piano bar programming a week with 5 other people on our roster. So the amazing Joe Regan, who plays at Don't Tell Mamas in the City and all over Jersey. Bob Egan, who is absolutely wonderful and plays all over the city. Lewis Warren Jr., who joined us this week. He's incredible. Todd Alsup, who's another Provincetown guy. And we just keep adding more and more people to the roster, and it's really, really cool. And out of that, Live from Provincetown was born. Obviously, this town is sort of an entertainment destination. That's what brought me here. And they do everything from, the drag queens who have been here for 30 years, performing every single night, busking on the streets, to me producing Todrick Hall last year, or Bernadette Peters. And so I thought it was important that these artists who are really the fabric of this town, that they have a way of still performing and still for the world to still experience their art. Because they announced that there are no indoor cabarets happening at all. And Provincetown is made up of about 6 different entertainment venues. So as you can imagine, it was really disappointing to hear that. And so I said, you know what? let's come up with a solution. I have a plan. And so I'm working with all 6 different venues now, providing all of their entertainment virtually.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a way for these Provincetown artists to still get to do their art, and an even better way for people who are unable to come to Provincetown this year to get to see some of their favorite performers.
And how do people find that? How do they?
Oh yeah, Facebook and Instagram, Virtual Piano Bar, or Live from Provincetown.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, exciting.
Hawkins helps us with our show. He's the go-to technical guru.
I know, I totally forgot about the intro. I can't believe that was 9 weeks ago.
And besides producer, virtual producer extraordinaire, he has got quite the voice himself. He's quite a performer.
Thanks, babe. I have fun. Lee and I have.
Connie, call me. We'll look it up.
Hey, Connie. Yes. Yeah. Lee and I have got to do lots of shows together over the years, and we've had lots of fun.
Yeah.
We continued. May the best.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to get you. I feel like I want to it's so weird. This 3
It's like half the Brady Bunch.
Right?
Yes.
Well, thank you, Jonathan.
No, thank you guys for having me. I love you guys. It's so cool. Thanks for doing this and just giving people joy and something to put on a shirt for.
Yes.
Love you.
My boy. Love you.
So fun. Oh my God.
We made it through this show.
I have to say, I was a little nervous.
Me too.
Today, because I just wanted it to be right. And anyway.
Me too.
Whatever that is. But thank you, Nita Whitaker.
Oof.
Is that the sweetest soul on the planet? Or what?
So beautiful, and she is so spiritual and peaceful, and she just is such a calm influence. And
Mandy Gonzalez,
the most inspirational warrior, fearless.
She is fierce. I love her.
She's
love her. Yeah.
Jonathan's the best.
Hawkins.
And
I just confirmed minutes before that next week we're going to be joined.
Voila.
DeGarmo and Ace Young.
Diana DeGarmo and Ace Young of American Idol and Broadway. This lovely married couple.
How fun is that?
They will be here next week.
All the way from Nashville.
All the way from beautiful Tennessee.
Nashville.
Yes.
Right?
I love them. They're like the most beautiful couple ever. And if you have a couple of bucks and you want to say thank you for the show tonight, and we took your minds in and off of everything that's going on, the virtual tip jar will go to the Anti-Defamation League that for many years has been fighting racism, bigotry, and discrimination. We'll send it off. Thank you, John.
And we're going to forward all of those tips to them.
All of it. We'll go to them.
So, Robert, where does the time go?
Time flies by. This show went by awfully fast. I just love you guys staying safe. Peace to, everybody, and may we all make the world a better place, Lee.
I think we will.
I think so too.
I think we're on to something.
I think it's time.
Yeah, for sure. Be safe. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
With Diana and Ace, and we have a couple other guests, but we'll announce them during the week.
Absolutely.
I think that's it.
I appreciate you, Lee.
I have a great night.
Have a great night, everybody. Be well.